So over the last few months, there's been a lot of discussion about the blue wave coming in November. Republicans, or I should say Democrats, are excited because, oh man, there's going to be a blue wave. I mean, I see them talking about it on Twitter. We've seen a lot of polls where Democrats, in general, are ahead of Republicans in a lot of different races. In fact, a quick political report just recently put a bunch of races from toss-up to actually leans Democratic. So in some places, there is actually a good chance that there will be some Democratic wins. However, there's also the chance that Republican excitement ends up dwarfing low turnout by Democrats, and especially young people, millennials. Now, top Republicans are now telling Axios that they have seen a surprising and widespread surge in GOP voter enthusiasm, whereas enthusiasm among Democrats is actually starting to wane. Now, why would that be? Well, it turns out the recent hearings involving Brett Kavanaugh are the main reason. Now, the Kavanaugh debate, according to Axios, has dropped a political grenade into the middle of an electorate that has largely been locked into Democrats' favor for the past 6 months, said Josh Holmes, a former top aide to Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. Pointing to Montana, Indiana, West Virginia, Missouri, and Tennessee, Holmes said, private polling shows the enthusiasm shift is unmistakable in the red states that will determine control of the Senate. So now, one piece of evidence here is the race in Heidi Heitkamp. So Heidi Heitkamp, I'm not in favor of her. She is a red state Democrat. She's a corporate Democrat, votes with Trump a bunch of times, and voted to confirm Neil Gorsuch. Now, on Kavanaugh, she actually did surprise me and said no. So she's a firm no. However, Joe Manchin in West Virginia, Manchin is still on the fence. Come on, Manchin. Are you serious? Jesus, man. Now, back to Heidi Heitkamp. Kevin Cramer, her challenger, is now leading Heitkamp by 12 points. So that race is not looking good. Holmes said, quote, North Dakota now appears out of reach entirely for Democrats. There's another example. Missouri Rising Action, a super PAC backing Republican Josh Hawley, said they got back numbers from pollster Jim McLaughlin showing Hawley leading Senator Claire McCaskill by 52 to 44. Down goes McCaskill. Possibly. Those are not good poll numbers. Those are terrible poll numbers. In fact, that swing went from, in June, McCaskill leading Hawley 46 to 42 to 52 to 44. Oh, that is disastrous. Now, not only that, but there are more polls. An NPR PBS NewsHour Marist poll, that's a lot of different organizations working together, released yesterday found that the wide Democratic enthusiasm advantage that had defined the 2018 campaign up to this point has disappeared. In July, they report, there was a 10-point gap between the number of Democrats and Republicans saying the November elections were very important. Now, that is down to 2 points, which is a statistical tie. Republican pollster Glenn Bolger, co-founder of the Public Opinion Strategies, agreed that Democrats' enthusiasm advantage dissipated since the Kavanaugh Ford hearing. Before that, he said GOP lassitude was, quote, very scary. Now, look, this isn't the end of this. This doesn't mean that there's going to be a, red wave come November. Obviously, polls are still fluid. There are gigantic swings, and there could be gigantic swings the way back. But it's not looking good, man. Look, I think that this is definitely because of the Kavanaugh hearings. Look, the fact that some Democrats have actually stood fairly strong against Kavanaugh, especially when it comes to these allegations, that's been really good for the electorate. Not only that, Trump coming out and being incredibly strong, going out there and mocking Christine Blasey Ford, which they absolutely love. They ate it up. They ate it up with a spoon. They love when you mock sexual assault victims. And that's what Trump went out and did the other day. And of course, the electorate loved that. They got them super excited. Oh man, I can't wait to vote for Republicans that are being strong against Democrats. That's what this is about. Look, man, they're excited. They're absolutely excited. Because this is that red meat issue that they can coalesce around. The confirmation of Brett Kavanaugh. Now, it wasn't the tax cuts. The tax cuts weren't doing it. Ted Cruz isn't even running on the tax cuts. So anything policy-wise that the Republican Party has done during the entire tenure of Trump's presidency, Trump's term, hasn't really done anything to galvanize Republican voters. But you toss them some of this red meat, man, that's what gets them excited. Just pure, dripping red meat. And look, the Republican Party as of now, and I've said it before, they are they're the reactionary party. Any kind of progress, they immediately are reactionary to. The Me Too movement, they say, no, not Me Too, him too. What about the men? What about the men? Look, as a man, as a white male, I don't know. I think I'm doing pretty fine. I'm actually doing excellent. Women that I talk to, not so much. In fact, there's a disastrous statistic that I believe goes. Basically, everybody knows at least one person, at least one woman that has been sexually assaulted. They may not actually know because a lot of women keep it to themselves. But statistically, I think every man knows a woman who has been sexually assaulted. That is disastrous. And so, look, doesn't matter to them, though. Doesn't matter. And to the voters, if you mock those people that do come out, that do have the bravery to come out, they'll say, first, you're faking it. And secondly, you deserved it. That's the Republican Party. That's the GOP voter in a nutshell. And those voters are extremely excited. How do you counter that? Excited voters of your own. And unfortunately, as I just showed you, man, it's not looking good. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.